from me, you bet your ass it's your problem.
You kidding me? Way to make a mess in front of my new rook.
Hey, steal from me and get caught? Better off dead.
Sounds like you did the fleet a favor. Now toss this body out of an airlock before it turns into a damn air freshener. The hell took you so long? Forget how to grav jump or something? I don't care. Time is money and you've wasted both. That ends today. Clear? But, all that aside, you made it. So now, you get to hear a nifty history lesson. Pencils ready? Good. This floating scrap heap you're standing on is called the Key. Used to be an old UC military star station, and now it's the fleet's base of operations. Might look a little beat up on the outside, but we keep it together. You think? And that's only part of it. I'll let Delgado fill you in on the whole story. He tells it better anyway. But I can give you the short version while we walk the station.
I love tours. Gift shop last this time though, right? I want to stay focused.
Anyway, I'll tell you all about the Key. But it's better if I show you too. Follow me. All right. History time. So, the Key is in orbit around Suvorov. That's the very same ice ball where the United Colonies built a supermax prison they call the Lock. The UC is so clever. Supermax prison, Lock, Key. Cute, huh?
Hello, everyone. I'm Gail Dunnigan of SSNN, and this is Galactic Talk. My guest tonight is one of the most notorious criminals in the settled system. His ruthlessness and desire for wealth has landed him squarely at the top of the wanted
got
list
everything the
for
fleet
every
needs right
major
here.
law enforcement
course
agency
you
in the
got
galaxy. I am, of course, speaking of the self-appointed leader of the Crimson Fleet himself, Jasper Crix. Good evening, Mr. Crix.
Good evening, Gail. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Yes, well, being blindfolded and then grav jumped to what appears to be an abandoned mining facility isn't exactly what I call an invitation.
Well, I'm sure you're not surprised that your request for an interview would come with some very specific conditions.
Frankly, I was a bit surprised to receive any type of response at all. Would you mind telling me why you decided to do this interview?
Because there comes a time in every pirate's life where they have to make an extremely important decision. Do they take a leap and become one of the most legendary pirates in history? Or do they simply sputter on, subsisting on freighters and deep space privateers?
So are we to assume that you're taking the leap? That Jasper Crix is moving on to bigger and better things in his life?
That's spot on, Gail. That's exactly why you're here.
Interesting. Well then, would you mind sharing with us exactly what your particular leap entails?
In due time. There's no rush. In fact, I'd say we have at least 12 hours before the authorities trace this broadcast. Plenty of time to discuss whatever you like.
Oh, all right then. Perhaps the best place to start this interview would be at the beginning of your career.
Please, proceed.
Remember, on the Key, credits are king. What the hell is this?
All right, hang on, Nav. Before you get pissed, I've got my hands full.
Jasmine, sweetie, I'm trying to give a tour here. So you want to tell me why those damn doors are sealed?
It's called a malfunction. You know, that thing I spend most of my day dealing with. Believe me, my people are on it. Have a little faith for once.
Aw. And you always, Angel. This here's Jasmine. You need anything for your ship, she's got you covered. We'll hit up the depot next since these doors have given out on us. So anyway, we were talking about the lock. About 100 years ago, the prisoners down there rioted and took over the place. After stealing some ships, they were actually able to make it up here and took over the key.
About time you brought us new blood, Neva. I was getting tired of trading with the same old faces.
You're just ticked everyone's getting wise to your ridiculous prices, Aludra. Anyway, welcome to the depot, Rook, where you'll be lucky if these blood-sucking leeches don't bleed you completely dry.
Whoa, whoa. It's not our fault. People don't appreciate how much it costs to get untraceable merchandise onto the key.
Neva's just whining because she thinks she lost a ton of cash selling us a shipment of gear. She should have done her homework.
Yeah, sure, laugh it up. I'll remember that next time I need something from you cheapskates. Let's move on. Back to my story. After the liberated prisoners grabbed the key, they established it as a base of operations and began pirating the spaceways. That was how the Crimson Fleet began. Of course, Jasper Cricks had a lot to do with all that, but we'll get to him later. Rook, meet Zuri, queen of the rare exports.
If I don't have it, you don't need it.
Neuroamps, blueprints. Hit her up and she'll take care of you.
Speaking of which, you still owe me for that last purchase, Neva. It's like 5 figures. Don't make me collect it the hard way.
The hard way? Oh no. Rook, protect me from Zuri's vengeance. Enough of the bullshit, Zuri. I'll pay you when I pay you. Deal with it. Got a problem with that? Take it up with the boss.
Don't even
On the
try
right,
to rip me off.
Ride Radley from the
I
trade
know value when
authority.
I see it.
I'm sure you know the deal there. They'll buy pretty much anything, no matter how hot. Then we got our med bay on the left, run by the one and only Samina Mizra. She'll patch you up, if you've got the money. We don't run any free clinics up in here, you don't? Okay, this is our final stop. Over there, you've got the last Nova, where Bog serves watered-down drinks at ridiculously exorbitant prices. And right here is the most important place on the entire station, the Reckoner's Core, run by the incomparable Shinya Voss.
Another new Rook, Neva? I can't believe Delgado still lets you recruit given what happened with the last one.
You mean Austin Ray? It's been taken care of, all right? I don't like loose ends, and this Rook is the one who tied it off.
Perhaps next time you'll try to be a bit more discerning regarding your choices. It's far more cost-effective.
Yeah, love you too, darling. Anyway, Shinya handles our lifeblood. The money. We call him our Reckoner, but if you ask me, he's actually a pain in the ass.
And Neva will slit your throat if she thinks you'll bleed creds.
Go to hell, boss. Take care of our new friend here, or I'll find a way to pull the pin on that little party popper in your chest. Anyway, Shinya will get you set up in our system. I've got real work to do. Once you're done, head upstairs and I'll introduce you to the boss. The
Time
fleet's
for
the
a
only
proper
family you
introduction.
need.
I am Shinya Voss, the official reckoner for the Crimson Fleet. And since Neva so thoughtfully mentioned it, yes, this is a bomb embedded in my chest. And no, I'll never know the meaning of the word humble. In fact, I find Delgado's idea of a security measure to be quite empowering. Glad you approve. Obviously, betrayal isn't taken lightly around here. Since I oversee the bulk of transactions and maintain all accounts for the fleet, I'm a prime target for information. Should our enemies capture me or I grew any semblance of a moral conscience, you might consider me the greatest threat we have. For Delgado, the bomb grants peace of mind and a certain degree of safety. Essentially. But I sleep soundly knowing I'm one of the few that can piss Delgado off and live. Should I die, all of my knowledge, the accounts, the credits, it would be a mess. He wouldn't dare. He holds the trigger, but we all know that my death cripples the fleet. Call the bomb a weapon of last resort. It's been over 5 years since I've stepped off the key. Leaving this place puts far too much at risk. Now, let me get you set up. A moment while I convene with the core. Thanks to advanced modifications even Dugin would envy, I can interface directly with our mainframe and the GalBank network. This allows me to move and clean credits faster and more efficiently than any run-of-the-mill cyber runner. There, you're done. All you need now is Delgado's blessing, and you'll be one of us. None. Other than my chest and arm modifications, I am but a simple man. Is the interview over now? Can we get back to work? The perfect segue into my final subject. Thanks to our relations with contacts across the galaxy, we always have a steady stream of jobs available. I've granted you all the necessary permissions to access these listings at any time, using the computers that surround the core. Fine by me. There's plenty of others who do. You do less, you make less. It's a pretty simple equation. Now, I believe that covers all I have to say. So you can run along to Delgado. Take the elevator to the upper level. You should be able to find your way from there, I hope.
Alright, listen up. You can all stop complaining.
If you need credits, hit up the mission board.
Have been repaired. Oh, and
Kinetics, electromags, energy weapons. Nothing's a substitute for face.
Now you buy from me, you can look good and protect your ass at the same time. Well, only the best tactical gear to protect your ass this side of the galaxy. Metal plated for when you're up against bullets. Leather for those jobs that might require a subtle touch. All made by yours truly, of course, except for a few used odds and ends that no one's gonna miss. Tactical gear is my special. But me? Nah, not anymore. When it comes to aim, there ain't no one worse. True facts. I mean, my friends like to say I'd have better luck talking someone to death than shooting them. Yep, my talents are best suited for making protective gear. Helmets, vests, suits. You could say I'm a tailor, not a fighter. Stay safe out there.
Weapons, ammo, mods, whatever you need. Well, well. Neva's new hotshot. I knew you'd find your way back to my little corner of the key. Everyone always does. Take a look around, genius. And don't tell me you've never laid eyes on a gun before. But just in case I need to spell it out for you, the merch I carry is known as weapons and ammunition. Get it? Hey, if you want to pour credits into my pocket, you won't hear any arguments from me. I carry most of the standard hardware, you know, kinetic. Occasionally, I stock a few smuggled items. Just don't screw me over or I'll be inclined to give you a free demo. Not being intimidated by me is one thing. The fleet? That's another. A little advice, Sadiqi? The fleet's trust can't be bought. You earn it. You bleed for the fleet bleeds for you. Pure and simple. Anyone who says otherwise is either lying or getting ready to... Ah, please, I don't need your concern. All I care about is separating you from your credits. Plenty of merchandise. I'd argue Boggs got me beat as far as customer base goes. But when it comes to profit, I am on top. A good gun's what makes all the difference out there sometimes. And for some, it's the only thing they'll ever trust. All right, see you around.
Need to have Jazz look at my graph drive. I swear, it's not jumping to
Please
the right
tell me
place.
you know exactly what materials you need. I don't do small talk. You want to do business? We'll do business. It's a general store, which means I sell general goods. Mostly junk that no one else wants to carry. Raw materials, blueprint. This better be worth it. Whatever.
Need something? So tell us about Jasper Criggs's version of the Crimson Scar.
All I can tell you is that under my guidance, the Crimson Scar became more influential than every other syndicate combined. Here I was, 22 years old, and I had power, people that followed my orders, and an endless stream of credits. Gale, I have to tell you, I was having the time of my life.
So you'd consider extortion, robbery,
I hope you
burglary,
brought me
kidnapping,
something
assault,
interesting.
and murder to be positive life influences?
No. I'd consider them as just means to an end. Those so-called crimes were merely stepping stones until I had enough wealth to buy.
What'll it be, friend? The fleet's got an impressive comer. They even managed a legitimate doctor. Business on the Key is like no other. It's the sole reason. There are a few who share that sentiment. You'd think a successful business relationship would change their minds, but a few will all... Regardless, as long as the fleet has goods to push, the Trade Authority will always maintain... Always looking forward to something mutually. Your credits are always good at the Trade Authority.
Sharks are too scared to take the key. Because it ain't no fun when the rabbit...
First time visiting the infirmary, huh? Let me give you a piece of advice. Try not to get into too many bar fights. I'm trying to save my dwindling supplies for sale and pirates coming in off of raids. That's what they all say, until they stumble in bleeding out on my floor. So here's what's what. You need medpacks, curatives, preventatives, I've got you covered. At least as long as my... You need enhancers, legal or illegal? I've got those too. Hopefully that won't be often. Now, if you don't need anything else, I've got a particular... Now there's an offer I didn't expect. If you really want to help, I'm looking for someone who can handle themselves in a public setting. As in someone who knows how to get the job done without shooting up the place. Well, you'd be one of the first. I politely requested a list of supplies from Gennady Aton at the clinic and was told the price of business has gone up. I think he's back on Aurora, and he's upcharging me to pay for it. And if there's one thing I'm not going to do is subsidize his habit. I want you to make sure he delivers my supplies for the price we agreed on, but without raising any alarms. We'll see. Talk is one thing, actions are another. Oh yeah, the funny thing is, he's the poster boy for upstanding moral citizens. Top of the class at nursing school, did volunteer work in backwater settlements, a reputation you could eat your food off of. Nobody knows he did it all zoned out of his mind. Nobody except his old boss, me. He said he got clean when he joined the clinic, but now I wonder. A bullshit one, yeah? Gennady claims prices have gone up for the clinic as a whole, and that I'm not the only doc being hit. He says if I want cheaper goods, I'm going to have to find another supplier. He even gave me a list. But I'm not turning to some third-rate doc selling meds out of their space truck. Gennady and I had a deal, and I want him to honor it. You'd think most of the injuries I treat are from run-ins with security or civilians taking a stand. But I'd say at least half are just life on the key. Brawls, egos, and plain old stupidity. At least it keeps me busy. I'll be the judge of that. Minor damage. Just so you know, I'm still charging you. All right. Can't have you bleeding all over the place. All patched up, for now. Medical, recreational. Take care of yourself.
If you're doing any lifting later, I can spot you.
We call UCC staff sharks, but to the fleet, they're just bait.
Open. Suspense is killing me.
We'll have the whole set of systems on Sunday.
Ah, there is our other
Every captain here is armed. Their strikes. I heard Isla's sister is some hardcore mercenary. I wouldn't get on her bad side.
Tell us about your arrest.
Oh, my arrest was spectacular. Definitely one for the record books. UC Security sent an armada after our little fleet of ships and picked us off one by one until the remainder of us made it to the wheel.
For our listeners' benefit, that was the star station in orbit around Volii that you destroyed just before your arrest, correct?
You see, that's what they'd have you believe.
Those
But
crabs
the
ain't gonna
truth
steal
is
themselves.
much less sinister. There was a firefight on the wheel when they tried to bring us in. We holed up, but UC Security unleashed hell. The damage they caused was catastrophic. We only surrendered so we wouldn't die when the station exploded.
Well, the UC says you set demolition charges to try and cover your tracks and make your escape.
That's their story. You'll have to go with your gut on what you think really happened. Anyway, they took us in and tossed us into the lock. That lovely resort they opened on Suvorov.
And you were imprisoned there?
So, now that we are all here, it's time to get down to business. The two of you are the only rooks that have made the latest cut. The rest, well, let's just say they won't be joining us ever again. Neva's willing to put her neck on the line and vouch for you, which means you've got what it takes to join the Crimson Fleet. You'd better not disappoint, or you'll find yourself answering to me, personally. All right, let's get started here. When you sign up with the Crimson Fleet, you're in it for the long haul. No one quits. No one retires. The only way out is death. You stay loyal or you pay the consequences. Fleet before friends. Fleet before family. Fleet before yourself. Boss. Good. You're getting it already. I like that.
Can we get on with this? I want to get drunk at the last Nova.
I'm impressed. That is the first intelligent thing you have said this entire time, Mathis. Since you two seem so eager to move forward, let's get to your next job. Pack your cold weather gear, Rooks. Where we are going, you're going to need it.
Oh, God, don't tell me you're dragging him down to Suvorov for another one of your little initiation runs. 10 Johns to the surface, 12 dead Rooks. You'd think by now you would have given up on that goddamn...
Crix's legacy is no story, Neva. We've got fresh eyes in the fleet. And if these two want to impress, they're going to help me search those ruins.
I hope you're right, Dale. That new code we grabbed for the lock cost us a ton of credits. And a decent captain.
This initiation, as Neva calls it, is your chance to see where it all began. On Suvorov with Jasper Crix. Crix led the riots that gave birth to the Crimson Fleet. And if his legacy is still out there, we're going to be the ones to find it. Before Crix left the fleet, he left a message talking about a major score. One that would set up the fleet to be a big player in the settled systems. Somewhere down the line, they started calling it Crixus Legacy. And everyone who's tried to find it has wound up empty-handed, missing, or dead. If we're gonna beat those odds, we'll first need a lead. And I would wager we will find one on Suvorov.
Dale's leaving out the best part. That this whole search is based on a handful of words on a very old slate. Crix left a lot of big talk on that recording, and not a lot of facts. Some of us believe in it more than others.
Don't listen to her. When we get our hands on Crixus Legacy, the fleet will be operating at a completely different level. We will become more than a match for UC Systef. Exactly. Now you're beginning to understand. Okay, enough discussion. We have got a lot of work to do. To that end, the next stop is the lock. I've had Jazz feed the coordinates into your ship's computer. Since Mathis doesn't have a ship, he's going to ride with me. I'll see you down there, Rook. Don't keep me waiting. I could tell you stories that would last for hours. But now is not the time. You have a job to do, and I don't like to be kept waiting. If you get back to the key, I am sure you can find some copies of the interview he gave to SSNN around here, somewhere. I think those recordings might give you the history lesson that you are looking for.
Impressed they managed to keep the thing operational. The shopping for pirated goods is a catch-22. Half the price, twice the guild.
I'm sure we can. You find anything of value, bring it here first.
Smuggling beats a real job any day.
Rook.
Breathe in that technically suitable air.
Release. We're free to fly.
The Vigilance is our flagship. Where it goes...
Heard you boarded the Key. I can't imagine what state the pirates are.
What can I do for you? Well done. Let's see what you found. I have to hand it to Neva Mora. Lady's thorough. That facility on Crete still holds a good bit of valuable resources and equipment. All right, can't do much with this one except pass it over to the military. Hopefully they stop denying the base's existence and do something about it. Any other fragments? All right. We'll provide you with information, but any inventory or ship services, it's best you get from the fleet. It'll help you maintain your cover and also give you an idea of how the fleet... They're pirates in every sense of the word. That makes them especially... Let me know if you need anything else.
Do you have anything to report? You have your orders.
The fleet has you chasing ghosts.
Like we've been gone forever.
complete. Jump complete. Propulsion restored.
You are cleared to dock at the clinic, the best medical facility in the settled systems.
Solid docking job there. Nice work.
I have something for you.
Ma'am, I'm just the courier.
I understand. I'm not blaming you directly. Dr. Salvato, how long have you been here? And in that year, this conversation about late or missing shipments of supplies.
I believe this is the third time.
Yes, that sounds right. 3 times. I will be making it very clear to your superiors that lives are at stake, and the clinic requires reliable transport. If your company cannot meet our needs, someone
Anything
else...
I can help you with? Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Thank you, Dr. Salvato. You may return to your duties. Running this facility is a challenge, even when there isn't an outbreak of some sort. Welcome to the clinic. I'm Dr. Darvish, Chief of Medicine. Is there something I can do for you? This is hardly the sort of place one comes to sightsee. We have a particular focus on astrovirology here, so the patients we take on tend to have unusual cases that require long-term care, and sometimes require unorthodox or experimental treatments. We have an excellent track record that speaks for itself, but it doesn't leave room for much else. Now, I will not insist that you leave, but if you are intent on looking around, as you put it, please don't interfere. Would you now? Well, I suppose we could always use additional research specimens. The more data we have about what's out there in the settled systems, the faster we can diagnose novel illnesses. In theory, at least. I suppose we could consider you an independent contractor of sorts. Organic membranes provide excellent data for treating viruses. We could use some additional samples. What we're looking for are basic organic substances. They could come from any number of flora or fauna on countless worlds across the settled systems. Just keep your eyes open as you travel and harvest things when you find them. Or frankly, if you can find them at a reasonable price somewhere, purchase them. I'm less concerned with the source than the materials themselves.
Grav drive. I literally can't get here any faster. Hi, how you doing?
Whoa, 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 what?
without something weird. That's not too much to ask.
I'm afraid I lack the time for purely social. There's simply too much to do to allow me to just stand about conversing with you. I apologize.
You appear dehydrated. I suggest immediate ingestion of a moderate quantity of water. Warning, this unit is not suited for addressing mental health concerns.
You had a chance to talk to Dr. Cassidy. Really fun guy.
Last few errors are out of the system. Means I got about 10 minutes till something breaks again. Well, yeah, somebody has to. It's great medical care, but not the latest in support tech. Funding only goes so far, and most of it's prioritized for keeping patients alive. And there's still a lot of outdated UC tech behind the walls that needs interfacing, so I stay plenty busy. Well, then I'd be out of a job, wouldn't I? You're not entirely wrong, though. But someone would have to convince Dr. Darvish it was a priority, and I gave up on that effort years ago. Well, yeah, it's great medical care, and there's still a lot of... We're still here after all this time, so it's not apocalyptic. I can't complain too much. I like the job security, and I get to help people. At least, indirectly. Get out of here before you catch something. Just kidding. Sort of.
I look like I work here, right? A couple of patients didn't seem to think so. Awkward situation.
Is there something I can help you with? You look a bit lost. I figured it was only a matter of time before she sent someone, though I was hoping she'd come herself. Look, the price of goods here has gone up. Doubled, tripled even. Did she not even consider a cheaper supplier? She really should. Samina told you about that, huh? Well, I get why she'd think that, but that's not it at all. I was trying to nudge her into ending our partnership, using the only language the fleet knows. Creds. It's just, I hear about people getting treated or dying all the time due to run-ins with the fleet. How does it all shake out in the end? I don't know. Either way, it seems like I end up with lives on my conscience. Yeah? Advice from the fleet? I doubt it. If I helped the fleet, and the next day a civilian ship is attacked by pirates, I couldn't forgive myself. Samina would make good use of them. Not like the people out there making the next cocktail to get high. I don't want to disappoint anyone. That's my problem. And I do consider her a friend. I think you've convinced me. Still, I can't believe I made a deal with the Crimson Fleet. I've stashed the supplies in the storage closet just around the hall. Here's the key. Just try not to let anyone see you. I want to keep this as under the radar as possible.
I couldn't tell you the last time I wasn't breathing recycled air.
Hey, Ari, how's the work coming along?
How does she expect me to get all this done by myself?
Anyone knows how to contain infectious diseases, it's these fine folks. So I'm not worried, but I wouldn't mind picking up the pace.
It's good to see someone other than a nurse. The treatments were fine, but the food? Oh, heavens.
Thanks for delivering critical supplies. Would be nice to hear once in a while.
I miss this ship.
Yeah, what is it?
So, Miss Stay Up Late reading under the covers? Did you learn anything new from your book last night?
Don't pretend to be mad at me. I know you aren't really. I learned that back on Earth, people used to use the stars to navigate.
We've detached.
So cool.
Let's get out of here.
But I guess it only worked because they just lived on one planet. And that sounds boring.
Remind me one of these days to tell you the tale of a certain Solomon Co. and where his stargazing landed him.
Navigational feedback checks out. We're in the right place. Nice clean dock, Captain.
You might want this.
Yeah.
Kinetics, electrolytes, energy weapons. Nothing's a substitute. Ask Jazz about any ship upgrades. Are you looking to start something? Then finish it.
Every time I see... Tell me you've got those supplies from Gennady. I'm on the last of my medpacks here. Everything's accounted for. No damage. I'm impressed. I might have to make this a regular thing. At least it's one way to get guaranteed supplies. I only need to determine Gennady's limits. I'd hate to break him. I need love every minute of it, right? Well, I'll arrange your payment so you can get out of here. I appreciate the help.